Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's Watches. Now, this whole intro bit and outro bit, I'm having to redo again. We forgot to turn on the microphones. Gotta love it when that happens. But I'm going to try and not repeat exactly as I said, because I don't know exactly what I said, to be honest, because all of this is off the cuff, including all these bits. But we have, as every single week, a big variety of watches, from truly independent, from Linde Werdelin to Speake-Marin to Pinion to mainstream with Christopher Ward and the CWC. But there's a lot of the same sort of brands on the table today, which I'm excited to get into. But as always, if you want to skip to a specific watch, or you want to go see all the details on the website, or purchase, or look at the price, whatever it may be, you can do so via the description. There is a link to each watch to go straight to the website. There's also a timestamp to skip to that specific watch, so don't wait about. If you want to pick one of these up, get straight on there. I do try my best on Saturdays, because that's when these drops go live, to get back to all messages as quick as possible, but it is a Saturday, so do give me some time. Especially this Saturday, I will actually be out go-karting when this is live, because that's sort of my little stag do with a few people, which is going to be fun, which is something I want to touch on in this video real quick. So for those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, either at Kibble Watches, you should, or my personal one at james.kibble, I recently got engaged, which is super exciting. We're going to be getting married very soon, actually, in April. So we're, what do they call it? A shotgun wedding, super quick. Now, there's another big news as well. We are having a baby. So there's going to be a little baby Kibble. We went for our scan yesterday, our first scan. We're at 12 weeks, which is absolutely incredible. We found out 2 or 3 days before Christmas. So what a great Christmas present. We are over the moon, and I genuinely cannot wait. I said in the other one we recorded that it's very difficult to explain that moment when the baby's on screen. You know, your baby, and you see your baby for the first time, and it's moving. Even waved at us. I'm 100% sure it waved at us. But it's a strange experience, one I can't put into words, and you know, it's very humbling. As you can tell, I'm very lost for words on how to even explain such a thing. For those of you who have experienced it, you know exactly what I mean. But what a beautiful experience I'm fortunate enough to have, and I cannot wait. Due date is officially August the 30th, and my birthday is August the 29th. So how amazing would that be? But the reason for me telling you this on here isn't to gloat and brag and all that kind of stuff, as much as I am proud of this achievement in life. It's mainly because there are going to be times coming up this year where I will not be in the business for a couple of weeks, as you can imagine. When that baby comes along, I'm not going to be in the office. However, we are going to do everything we can to keep the business running as normal, and to the point where hopefully you realize nothing has changed. Yes, there may be delays in responses, there may be a day or two delay in shipping out, there may be some delays in general, but hopefully you guys don't experience anything different. And this is where Danny's going to be really stepping up, so I want to say a big thank you to him. Right now, obviously, he's full-time, and he's doing mainly photography, video, all that kind of stuff, and just day-to-day tasks, which is going to be more so when I'm not here. Obviously, before that period, before August, when the baby comes, it could come sooner or later, you know how this goes. But before that, there will be times and occasional periods where I'm not here as well, you know, making scans or whatever it is. I will do my best to make it very clear the days I'm not going to be here. That way, if you contact me and you don't get a reply, you know why. So please, there's a couple of you out there, you know who you are, because I've politely said to you, please stop it. If you call me and you don't get a response, please leave a message. And then if it's urgent and you need to message on another platform, please do so, but reference that you've also called. Do not call me 7 times in a row until I pick up. Do not spam me on all platforms and send me multiple emails. It's not the way to do it. All you're going to get is a very annoyed James responding to you, because there's just no need to do that. You wouldn't do that in any other industry. You wouldn't do that to any other person. Please don't do it to me. I will get back to you. I'd like to think we're very quick at actually responding. We try and get back to you on email or message or phone call, whatever it may be, as quick as we really can. But obviously, with what's coming up, please be extra patient, because I'm not going to be taking a phone call the day after my child is born or anything like that. So, and if you can't understand that, I'm sorry, but I won't be. But Danny will be. So spam him instead. Call him 20,000 times. But there you have it, guys and girls. That is my news, and let's move on to what's on wrist, because I've probably been talking way too long on this. But anyway, what's on wrist? This is super, super special. I bought it only a couple of hours ago, actually. So it's going to go through our testing process before it becomes available, as does everything else, even though this was purchased only last year from a very reputable source and someone we know. But as always, everything goes through our process. This is a white gold Rolex day date, not any old day date as well. This one's from 2003, it's 36mm, and it has a electric blue dial, as I like to call it. Now, for those of you who watch a lot of these videos, you'll remember the last Q&A, I was asked of all Rolexes, if I could choose any, what would it be? And I said the Platinum Daytona, but failing that, something a bit more realistic. This is the exact reference I was referring to, which is kind of funny. And at that point, I didn't know I was going to be buying this. Let me make this clear. I've bought it for stock. This isn't for me. So this will be coming to the website soon. But this is the reference 118239, 2003, full set, box papers, everything with it. Yeah, you'll be hard pressed to find a better one. So get in contact if you want this. Don't wait, don't hesitate. You know, watches like this don't last long. And it will be over £20,000 for those of you wondering, probably a fair bit over £20,000. Not a fair bit, but it will be over £20,000, as it rightfully should be. I think this is a far better purchase than half of those grey market modern Rolexes now. So yeah, get in contact. So, there you have it, guys and girls. That was a lot of rambling to start this video, but hopefully I started it off by saying you can skip to watches. So, if you've done that, hello, we're going to be skipping to watches. But let's start with one of the most interesting on the table. It's the Speake-Marin. So, to begin, we have this awesome Speake-Marin. So, this is the Speake-Marin Serpent Calendar in blue, known as the SC2, and the reference is 10006-04. For those of you that want to know the full reference. But this is a really interesting, unique piece. It's definitely inspired by sort of old pocket watches, in my opinion, especially based on the dial and the lugs and everything like this. This is what a lot of these converted pocket watches kind of look like, but done in a very modern way. You know, definitely not done as a homage to that. However, they've definitely taken design cues, but then spiced it up with this central blue area with the pointer date and the sort of very serpent-like, which I guess is where they get the name from, hand that points to the date. You've got beautiful hands as well. This is just a really well executed watch. Nice big onion crown over there. And then as we flip it over, you get to what sort of makes Speake-Marin very, very famous within the watch world, and that is that bright blue tungsten carbide, I believe it is made of, rotor with that movement, heavily decorated and beautifully finished. That is an automatic hybrid Voucher 3002. This watch does come on its original strap and buckle, as you can see. And this watch is from around circa 2013. We can't date it exactly, unfortunately, because the paperwork is unsigned, but it does come with its box and paperwork. Just a very interesting and unique watch. Definitely not something you see every day. And a lot of people probably haven't even heard of this brand. So it's definitely one worth researching. We've got a nice write-up on the website. We try not to go into too much detail in this because we go through so many watches. We don't want it to be, you know, an hour-long video. Although the last one was over 40 minutes. So hopefully this one won't be as long. But yeah, definitely worth researching. It was an old English watchmaker. Well, not an old English watchmaker. It's derived from an English watchmaker. So there's a lot to get into with this one. So definitely worth checking out if you have never heard of them. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's try it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist, which is just shy of 7 inches. This is 42mm by 53mm lug to lug. Something to keep in mind is that lug to lug length is due to the fact that these bars come straight off the case. However, the strap does come straight down from that. So whilst it is over the 50mm I always go on about, it isn't unwearable. It's a unique wearing experience and something that I think you'll be quite surprised by how well it wears considering. Only 10.5mm thick, which again helps with the wearability, and 20mm lugs. This is a screw bar which comes out, so that's something to keep in mind. Not your sort of traditional spring bars, but a very good looking, quite unique watch, and something that I think is very fitting to what we do here at Kibble Watches. So go check this one out on the website. From Speake-Marin, we've got to go to this beast over here, one I absolutely love. This is the Linde Werdelin. Linde Werdelin. How do you... I'm probably saying it wrong. Who cares? Linde Werdelin. They're super cool. Next up, we have a brand I am a big fan of. We've had a couple of these watches in actually over the years, and the last one was a limited edition Octopus, which I thought was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I wore it quite a bit actually, which is quite funny because this is almost the complete opposite of what I would usually wear. But I think their sort of unapologetic design and the ethos of what Linde Werdelin's going with, it just speaks to me for some reason. And this watch is no different. This is a early Linde Werdelin. This is the Founders GMT, which you don't see often. You will see the Founders come up every now and again, but this specific one with the GMT, again, you do not see it often. It was limited to, I believe, 222 pieces total. Which is, again, really, really cool. This one, unfortunately, doesn't come with the big crazy box. It was like this computer. I don't even know what you'd call it. They do come up on for sale every now and again, just the boxes. So you might be able to pick one up. But importantly, it does come with its guarantee card, which shows it was bought in March 2012. So definitely, you know, what's that? Nearly 10 years old now, which is crazy. Linde Werdelin, another brand if you've not heard of, one I would highly recommend you do some research into. They do a lot of sort of things with explorers and different adventurers and all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting to see. They have Instagram pages dedicated to it. And these are over-engineered tool watches, basically. You know, that's how I look at them. And the design is very much speaking to that. You know, it's not a small watch. It's not unapologetic. It is exactly what that designer, what Linde Werdelin wants with their watches, and I think that is what makes it so good. Inside here is an automatic ETA 2893, which is a workhorse GMT movement. You can see you've got the date over there at 4 o'clock. You know, would I prefer it at 3 or 6? Yes, of course, but you know what, it's just nice to have the date, and this has the GMT function. Very prominent clicking, rotating bezel right there. It's a cool watch. It won't be for everyone, but again, this is what I love to stock. This is what I love to get in, because the mainstream stuff, as great as it is, it can get very repetitious, very boring. You can go get that anywhere. But point to another dealer where you can go look at a solid white gold day date, a Linde Werdelin and a Seiko all at the same time. You know, I'll wait for that answer. But anyway, let's show this on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on wrist now. Linde Werdelin, you've got to be ready to wear these watches. And what I mean by that is they are not small and they are bold. You know, it's not the kind of thing you just put on in the morning because you can't figure out what to pick. You know you're going to be wearing this watch when you pick it up. So this is 45mm by 49.5mm lug to lug. That's from these points, and this is a solid bit of class leather, that comes straight off the case and round onto the point buckle, which is actually very comfortable. I am usually not a fan of this kind of strap at all, but this is very comfortable, probably one of the most comfortable. And that's probably due to the size of the watch. You know, it needs that to pull it round, and the thickness of the strap as well. It's not exactly very pliable, so it needs to pull in. So 12mm thick, which is surprisingly thin considering the size, and this part here is 32.5mm, so where the strap starts and tapers down very like a lot. I don't know exact dimensions, but it tapers a lot. So yeah, this is a very cool watch. Not something for everyone, but that is what I love about it. So go check it out on the website. Before we go on to the Pinions, let's have a look at the CWC re-edition of a 6BB. Next up is something from CWC, and this is really interesting because looking at this, other than the polished case, you'd be forgiven for thinking it is a original 6BB by CWC, which was for the Royal Fleet Air Force, or Air Arm. I can't remember the exact name, something like that. We've had one of them in. You know, a really interesting, beautiful chronograph with tritium on the dial, and you know, it's just a good looking watch, and this is no exception. You can see it's almost like they've used vintage dials and hands. I don't believe they have, but it looks that way. You know, I believe they are true tritium, which is why they're starting to patina. They've gone for a full polish case. I'm not too sure why. Personally, I would get this all bead blasted to be a bit more fitting with the original, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you probably wouldn't want a shiny watch if you were actually in war. Might stand out a bit, but you've got all the engravings on the case back, very similar to what it would have been originally. And inside here is a modified manually wound 7760, very similar to what would have been used originally. Which again is really cool, and this one's from April 2019. It does come with its full box and papers. Very nice actuation to start in and stop in that chronograph. but just a good looking watch. And you know, considering the prices of what the 6BBs, the originals, are getting to now for an all original nice clean example, this is a pretty good value proposition, especially if you're a bit more scared of vintage, which I get. You know, it's a minefield. You got to know whether things are original, how's the mechanics, is it running well. Whereas this is, you're getting all of that in a modern case. So I get the appeal, I really do. But let's try on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist, and you can see I love the shape of this case, and this is what they've got very true to the original. Round here it's very traditional, very normal, but then over here the case flanks out massively as sort of like crown guards. You know, it's a very unique shape, and something that CWC were sort of famous for with this model, in my opinion. 38.5mm by 46.5mm lug to lug. It wears very, very well. 13.5mm thick and 20mm lug, so endless options on the strap. You know, it's a good looking watch for not a huge amount of money, so go check it out. And now the pinions, and I forgot to say something, so I'm going to say it now. There was 5 pinions, and now there's only 4. So where did that 5th one go, and what was it? So there will still be a link to that one in the description. You'll be able to see it under the sold section. But that one was a very special pinion. Let me find the exact details of which one it was exactly. It was the Axis 2 bronze. It wasn't just any Axis 2 bronze though. This one was supplied to the Fast and Furious 9. So for those of you who know you Fast and Furious, it was supplied to that movie to be worn by John Cena in a couple of scenes. And I will put some photos on screen for you now. And we had the exact one that was supplied to the movie, and the exact one that was worn by John Cena, including a custom strap made of alligator, or lizard, sorry, for his 9-inch wrist. How ridiculous is that? Having a look at the photo of it on his wrist, it looks like a 32, 34mm watch. This was a 42mm watch, thereabouts, and it's a huge watch. You know, it's not a small watch, but he dwarfs it. It's insane. So that watch, unsurprisingly, has sold before it managed to get to the website, but one that was definitely worth telling to you guys and sharing the story. We had the provenance letter from Pinion as well to go along with it, and I hope the new owner's enjoying it. I'm sure he is. You know, I don't know if he's a fan of the film or John Cena or both, or just a fan of the fact that this is a watch that was worn in a movie, which I think is kind of cool as well. But now we've got all that out of the way, let's go on to a Pinion that is for sale. Not that you can get that one anymore. We're going to start with a Pinion Axis 2 in gunmetal grey with a navy blue dial. This is the one. Let's take a closer look. So Pinion, a brand we've had a few of over the years, and one I'm definitely fond of. And Piers, the gentleman who runs Pinion, he's a great guy, really nice guy, and he's doing some great stuff. He designs the watches how he wants them to be designed. He doesn't take huge influence from the outside, and I think that is what makes them so great. This is the Axis 2. You can see it's got that deep navy blue dial, which is matched perfectly on this navy blue strap. The Axis is an automatic range, so you have an automatic movement inside. He does use a variety of different movements, so I don't actually know which exact movement is inside this one, but rest assured he uses good Swiss-made movements, usually ETA, so you can be reassured. This one is from November 2018. It does come with its box and paperwork, and the highlight here for me definitely is that dial. I think it looks absolutely brilliant. That navy blue, as I said, with the pops of white. Interesting hand, you've got that nice pointer on the end of the seconds. You've got this black DLC, sort of very dark, or is this one gunmetal? I can't remember. I think it's actually gunmetal grey, which is why it looks slightly different to the all black, which if we look here of this model, this is the all black matte finish, whereas this is the gunmetal PVD, if I'm not mistaken. You can see you've got a stainless steel crown right there. It's a good looking watch, and I think what Pinion are doing is very interesting and one well worth keeping an eye on. And you know, for the price that these are, I think they're an absolute bargain. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by how affordable they are pre-owned. So don't hesitate. You know, we've got 4 options for you. Have a look through. Even if you're just wanting to try out Pinion for the first time, I think you can't go wrong buying them pre-owned. Give them a whirl. If they're not for you, you know, we'll sell them for you. So let's try on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go on my wrist. So again, these aren't small watches, but they wear really well, especially at 41.5mm by 50mm lug to lug, right in that sweet point. Only 12.5mm thick and 22mm lugs, which helps with wearability. It actually makes it appear and wear bigger than it is at 22mm. So for those of you that like a big watch, but maybe don't have the wrist, like I don't have the wrist to pull off massive watches, this makes it feel like a bigger watch. So it's an interesting wear sort of experience and one worth trying. So go check this one out on the website. Sticking to the Axis, we have 2 Axis and 2 Pure. Let's go on to the other Axis, which is black with a bronze bezel. Something kind of different. Let's have a closer look. Next up is another Pinion. This is the Axis Automatic. So same as the one we just looked at, or slightly different as you can see. It's got a black coated case with a bronze bezel. This is quite a special model because I believe there's only been, I could be wrong here, but 2 or 3 of this model made with the black case and the bronze bezel. So if you're looking for a Pinion that stands out from the rest, this is probably the one to go for. And again, it's priced at the same price as the others. So you can get yourself something that's truly unique and different without having to pay a huge amount of money from a brand that are doing great things. You know, you can see England stated down there on the dial, which is always lovely to see, and I think whenever I see that on a watch, I definitely do get excited. I think it's good to see. Inside is an automatic movement. As I said on the last one, he uses a variety of automatic Swiss movements, so I'm not too sure which exact one is in here. But rest assured, it is a good movement. This one is from November 2017. It does come with its full box and paperwork, and the bronze has started to patina, but it's evenly patinaed, and I think it really goes with the overall look. You've got a nice perforated sort of rally style strap here. You know, it won't be for everyone, but that's okay. Still crown over there, but let's try this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. So this one is 42mm by 51mm lug to lug, just over that 50mm I always go on about, but it's still super comfortable. Only 12.5mm thick and 22mm lugs. So again, endless options on the straps. You can buy straps from a variety of places, including Pinion, if you want to get the Pinion official ones. But a good looking watch, and definitely one well worth every penny it is on the website. So go check it out. Now on to a Pure, and we're going to start with this one, the gunmetal grey with this deep green dial. I think it's really cool. Let's have a closer look. And next up we have our first one in the Pure range. So this, as the name would suggest, keeps the design incredibly pure and simple, but in a really interesting way. You know, he hasn't just gone with a simple dial and called it a day. You know, we've got a gunmetal grey case here again, which has a really nice shine to it. It looks fantastic. We've got this deep green, almost you know, royal green. I don't know what you'd call it, you know, army green probably, but a very interesting green. And you've got faux patina, so the patina's got this agey goldeny brown color to it, which really works. You've got the crosshair through the center, sub-dial down there. This is actually a manually wound movement. Again, he uses a variety, but I suspect it's probably his 7001, ETA 7001, which is based on the Pesa from many moons ago. Often used is now the ETA version. But you can see a very interesting multi-layered dial. Those numerals really do pop. You've got steel crown again, and it is paired on a Pinion rubber strap again, which just looks fantastic in my opinion. Really great looking piece, and I think what Pinion are doing, especially with the Pure range, the Pure range is probably one of my favourites of what they do. I think it wears really well, and I think it looks really good. And this sort of pop of green, so subtle. In most lights, it really doesn't show, but in person, it really does. It's very clear it's green, and it contrasts nicely against the colour of the loom that they've gone with and that bright silver sub-seconds. I like the design. It won't be for everyone, but I think that's the beauty. So let's try this on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. Putting this watch on wrist, you just get that whiff of vanilla from the strap. It's heavily scented. It smells really good. But here we go. So this one is 42mm by 50.5mm lug to lug, only 12.5mm thick and 22mm lugs. And this one is from July 2016 with its full box and papers, as you'd expect as well. Do check on the website, because a lot of these Pinions do come with additional straps as well. So there's plenty of options there, but go check it out on the website for more details. And the last of the Pinions, one I think if you've heard of Pinion or ever seen Pinion, it might ring a bell, this exact model. This is the Pure Pro Bronze. This is what I think of when I think of Pinion, so let's have a closer look. And last but certainly not least of the Pinions, this is the Pinion Pure Pro Bronze. And as I said, anyone who knows of Pinion or has heard of Pinion, even if you've just slightly heard of them, this is probably a watch you would have seen, because I think this is what, again, I could be wrong here, but for me, this is what put them on the map. I think this looks fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of bronze cases, as a lot of you know, but I think this is very well done, very well executed, and it's super nice. This is, as I say, the Pure Bronze Pro Classic. This is from December 2016, and it does come with its full box and papers, and as I said earlier, do check on the website. Some of these do come with additional straps as well, but a very simple black sort of grey almost, depending on the light, textured, almost like slate. I don't know how else to describe it. Dial with the applied indices, which have got that faux patina, which again really complements the golden colour of the bronze and this brown, very glossy strap. I really like it. Again, it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but that's okay. And same as the last Pure we just had a look at, inside here is a manually wound movement. Again, they use a variety of them. However, I do suspect this to be a 7001. That's just what I think based on the layout and the feel and everything like that. But rest assured, it is a reliable and robust movement, just as the watches. And I think that's one thing Pinion do very well. They get that beautiful design, whilst definitely creating something that looks rugged and tough, which is obviously why John Cena wore it in Fast and Furious 9. That's just my opinion. But let's try this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, 41.5mm by 51mm lug to lug, 13mm thick and 22mm lugs. Endless options and choices on this one. However, this configuration, I think, looks the best. And I think that looks really good. What's your opinion? Let me know down in the comment section and go check this one out on the website. Now we're on to the Christopher Wards, and let's hope I don't muddle up all these names as I often do. We're going to start with this one. This is the C60 Trident Pro MK2 PVD. Maybe that's correct, I can't remember. But let's have a closer look at this awesome piece and then move on to the next. Next up we have one of the hidden gems from the bygone Christopher Ward era, in my opinion. This is the, and let's get the name right this time, the C60 Trident MK2 PVD. This is the all black, as you can see, beautifully finished. And again, we've got that faux patina. I think there's something that really works with black and the faux patina, especially on this aged leather strap it comes on. And this is the 38mm case. We'll touch more on the size when we show it on wrist, but I think these 38mm Tridents that they used to make are fantastic. They fit really well on the wrist. They just look really good. I'm not going to recite the whole reference of this one off because it is ridiculous. But flipping it around, you can see you've got a black case as well. Sticker's still on. These watches, whilst worn, they're in fantastic condition. So rest assured, you're getting a close to new watch, but definitely worn. So yeah, keep that in mind. You know, you're saving yourself some money and you're getting something that is no longer being made. But inside here is either an automatic ETA 2824-2 or a Sellita SW 200-1. Now the reason I say either or is because this is from a time where Christopher Ward were transitioning, like a lot of brands, from ETA to Sellita. So it's unsure which exact one they use. Some of them had ETA, some of them had Sellitas. But this one is from January 2017. It does come with its box and papers, and it is a damn good looking watch. I think if you're in the market for an all black diver, something a bit smaller, and something that really pops and is for those in the know, I think Christopher Ward, and I think this specific one, is one you should be looking at. But let's try on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on wrist. I really do love how this wears. I think it's super, super comfortable. This is 38mm by 45.5mm lug to lug, only 13mm thick and 20mm lug. So endless options if you're not a fan of this combination. But I gotta be honest, I'll be surprised if you're not a fan of this combination because it looks so, so good. Go check this one out on the website for more details. Now for very similar, but not quite the same. This is the Trident Pro 600 MK2, again 38mm, but all steel with the burgundy-ish bezel. Let's have a closer look. Next up, if you weren't a fan of that all black look and you want something in stainless steel and on a bracelet, this is the one for you. This is the C60 Trident Pro 600 MK2, again in 38mm. I think this is a very good and universal size for him or for her, and I think it just looks really good, especially under £500. I won't recite the full reference off to you because it's just ridiculously long. You can go see it on the website if you want. Inside this is an automatic Sellita SW200, and as we flip it over, you can see that Trident on the case back, something that Christopher Ward are known for. But the profile and finishing of this case is fantastic, and that sort of bright burgundy red bezel contrasting against the black of the dial. And those hands and that wave pattern. This is just a really good looking watch, and I think Christopher Ward nailed this design. This one is from July 2018. It does come with its full box and paperwork, as you'd expect, and look at that bracelet. It's in fantastic condition. It is worn, as I said, but these watches have been well looked after over their years. Nice screw down crown. This really is, you know, a great alternative to other dive watches out there. And again, under £500, I just think you're going to be hard pressed to find something as well spec'd as this, but also as well built. You know, this bracelet is not something to shy away from. That is a very well built bracelet. Really good design. Again, you've got that quick adjust right there, so you can change it on the fly. I think this is just perfect. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. Here we go on wrist. I really like how the 38 wears. So this is 38mm by 45mm lug to lug, only 12.5mm thick and 20mm lug. So again, if you want to swap it out from the bracelet every now and again, at 20mm lugs, there are endless options you can choose from. However, I would say Christopher Ward's offerings of straps are very, very good and well worth the money. So go check those out as well as this on the website. From there on to one we've had before, that is the C8 Flyer. This is probably my favourite under £500 pilot watch. Let's have a closer look. Christopher Ward C8 Mark I Flyer. I have said before, because we've sold one of these in the past, that this was the best smaller than 40mm case offering of a pilot's watch on the market. This watch is discontinued, you can't get it anymore, but I still stand by that. I still think this is one of the best value pilot's watches for those of you who want that pilot design but don't want a 45mm watch, because me personally, I can't pull that off, and also I don't really want to wear a 45mm pilot watch. Whereas 38mm I can get behind, especially with this case finish, the bead blasting, this really nice leather strap, leather NATO. I'm not a big NATO guy, as a lot of you know, but this I like, and I think it's just very, very well executed. No screw down crown, but it doesn't really need to be. Inside here is another Sellita SW 200-1. You've got a nicely decorated case back right there with like a propeller. I think it just looks really cool, and I think it's just well executed. As I say, you want a not dive watch, you want a pilot's watch under 40mm, I would not hesitate to look at one of these. So arrange to come view it in our office if you want to, or just buy it on the website, you know, nice and easy. It's from February 2017, it does come with its box and papers, but let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions, because that's where this one flies. Ha, get it? Ha, let's show it. And here we go on wrist. That looks awesome. I love this NATO. And as I say, I'm not a NATO person, but that just looks really good. This is 38mm by 46mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick, which is handy because that NATO will add a bit of thickness to the watch, and 20mm lug, so again, endless options. You can imagine this on a variety of black straps as well as this. Even like if you can get a bead blasted mesh, that would look cool. But go check this one out on the website. A bargain of a watch. Now on to one that I think is really cool and a very early Christopher Ward, very, very early. This is the C20 Lido or Lido, however you want to pronounce it. Let's take a closer look at this. So the C20 Lido, I don't know how you pronounce that, but I'm sure I'll get corrected in the comment section either way. So here it is. This is a very, very interesting watch. It's actually from July 2015, so this is early Christopher Ward, as you can tell by the logos. Really, really love the integrated style of the strap. They did do a bracelet as well, which would be really cool, but these just don't appear often, and when they do, they seem to sell fairly quickly. This one is in fantastic condition. You've got an exhibition case back right there with the old logo on the rotor. Look at that. That's a trip down memory lane right there. That is an automatic ETA 2836-2. You have got a day over there on the dial. You've got this really nice crisp white dial with concentric circles around the outside. Just really well executed. And again, you know, integrated design, which in 2015, we all know now integrated watches are all the rage, all the hype. In 2015, they were the hype as well, but this kind of predates that a little bit, which I think is kind of nice. And again, when Christopher Ward were doing things a little bit differently. So let's try this one on wrist and talk dimensions. So here we go. It does wear a little bit bigger than the dimensions will lead you to believe, so do keep that in mind. But you've got 41mm by 49mm lug to lug, and that's based on those dimensions right there. This strap does slope straight off there, so it will cup the wrist nicely. 11mm thick and 26mm lugs, that's based on that dimension right there, and it does taper down towards the clasp. So a very good looking watch for someone who likes this kind of design. And again, a throwback with Christopher Ward and something you don't see often. So go check this one out on the website. And last but certainly not least, we have a C7 Rapide. Not Raptide as I keep calling it, Rapide, that's what it is. Black and red, absolutely gorgeous colour scheme. Let's have a closer look at this one. Next up is one from Christopher Ward's racing line, and this is the Rapide, not Raptide like I kept saying. But anyway, a very good looking piece. You've got that all black case with that red centre ring, which really does pop. And I think complements nicely with that bright red second hand. You've got that red that just appears on the bezel, you know, it sort of just pokes underneath. You've got the red trim of the strap, and again, this is the original strap in fantastic condition. I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me a lot of the Oris Arctics range back when they used to do that, which again was a very sports-driven range. I owned an Arctics GT myself, which this really reminds me of, just all black, whereas mine was all stainless. And it's a watch I really do miss, and I think this is definitely giving me that vibe in a very good way. Inside here is an automatic Sellita SW200-1, very reliable movement. The strap is super comfortable, quick release as well. This one is from January 2019, so the most modern of the Christopher Wards we're showing today. And it does come with its box and paperwork, but there's not really a huge amount to say on this one. This is, for those of you who like an all-black watch, maybe you're into your sports and your racing, this is a great watch to have. And if you're into both, then perfect, this ticks all the boxes. But let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go. I like how this wears. It doesn't wear too big at all, especially at 42mm by 48mm lug to lug. It's under that perfect sweet point of the lugs, and these lugs are really cool. They sort of concave in towards the underside and give it a very sort of sports car feel, which I guess is what they're going for. Only 11.5mm thick and 22mm lug, so again, endless options. It helps with the size and the wearability, but this strap with sort of like the perforated holes, I think works beautifully. I would not be changing it out personally. So go check it out on the website for more details. So there you have it, guys and girls. What a episode this one is. Variety from a couple £100 to multiple £1,000 to a watch. Unfortunately, that's not on the table, but that was in a film. You know, this is exactly what we want to do here at Kibble Watches. And as I said, I think with regards to one of the watches, I can't remember which one, but we want to be the place that you come to for variety. Where else can you go where you can look at a solid white gold day date, you can look at a Speake-Marin or a Linde Werdelin and a Seiko all at the same time? I don't think there's many places able to do that variety and also know enough about that variety. You know, we know a fair amount across the board, but we also, you know, we speak to a lot of people who know a lot more than we do, and that's the good and beautiful thing about this industry. We learn from our customers as well. So as always, if you want to purchase any of these watches, you want to come in and see them, you want to come and just have a coffee, book an appointment, let us know. We're here Monday to Friday, pretty much every day, usually from around sort of from 10 till like 5:30, 6ish. We can stay a bit later, we can come in a bit earlier if you need, but let us know. And we look forward to seeing you. Hope you keep well, and we'll see you all again next time. Take care.